Today we're going to be taking a look at the VTEC 1.8 mod by Augvape. This is actually a 200 watt mod. It does do wattage, it does variable voltage, it does bypass, and then it's got like sort of like a boost feature, which is called V mode. You get like a 20 watt or 20 joule adjusted boost. It does have a whole bunch of things going on the screen, which I really like because it's very informative. It takes two 18650 batteries that are not included in this, but it does have that weight to it. This is definitely a substantial mod where you feel the weight on it once you put those batteries in. So it feels like a really solid device. So we're going to go down. I'm going to show you all about it. We're going to go through the menu settings and things like that. Then we're going to come up, we're going to have a vape on it, talk about it, pros and cons. So let's go ahead and take a look at the VTEC version 1.8 200 watt mod by Augvape. Okay, so here we are with the VTEC 1.8 mod. I do have mine in black. They do come in three colors, blue, black, and red. This is from Augvape. This is the box that it comes in. And then on the back, you're gonna get some kit contents right there. Inside, you're gonna be getting your warranty policy. So this has got the information regarding your warranty. You're gonna have your user manual, which it does have two sides. It's got this side that gives you the specifications and introduction and things like that. And then on the back, it's actually gonna give you more information about the chipset, as well as your warnings and protections. Inside, you're also going to be getting this USB cable. I'm guessing this is for firmware upgrades because I do not recommend charging your batteries in a mod. That's just my spiel about that. So here we are with the mod itself. Is that this was actually inspired by a car engine. I think it was a Honda, if I'm not mistaken. So it's got the look and design sort of like a car engine. Now it does have the two screws here. You definitely don't want to take it apart, but yeah, two screws there, two screws here that hold it together. You've got this little like pleather or material type of thing right here that they put on it that I think was not on the original, and this does say B18C-R. I think that's sort of like the engine block, and that's what it looks like. So if you raise the hood and you look in it, that's basically, yeah, that's what I think it is. It does have a spring-loaded 510 connection, but it is a raised 510. If you notice, it does have that little lip here. So you will have a little bit of gapping if you have anything over than, like, say, for instance, a 26 millimeter Addy. Anything else will sit flush, but it's still going to be on the raised portion. On the front, you're going to have your OLED screen. This is actually your screen. This is also your power button. You have your USB port here. You've got this little toggle switch. This is like an oil cap type of adjuster. And then I do currently have the screen protector on because I did want to show you that this is the power and then this is the up and then the down, because once you take this off, you can't tell. So I did want to leave that on just so that you could see that. Now, it does take two 18650 batteries. They are not included. But one thing I do want to show you is that it does have the A and B battery indicator and positive and negative. And then down in the bottom, it does not show anything. It just has the regular blue compartment, but you've got all your information here. And I like the fact that they did do it in white so it's easier to read. So you want to do positive up here, negative down. And then it does have this spring-loaded battery section, so you will have to push down to close it, which I do like because to me it just makes it for a tighter grip, and they do that so that you're not going to have any type of shaking of your batteries or anything like that. So you're going to push down and then click into place. I really like that. There's absolutely no rattling or battery rattle at all in this device. But yeah, it does have 5 clicks on, 5 clicks off. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will turn on your device. As you can see, it's kind of bright, but it's not as bright as I feel like it should be. The screen is kind of bright, but when you're outside, it really isn't. Now, it does give you your battery indications for both A and B, which I think is awesome. It says auto here. Auto is sort of like just a regular standard power mode. It'll read your resistance pretty much and give you the selected wattage for that resistance. You've also got your resistance here. It's got your voltage here, and then you're going to have your seconds fired right there, again with the battery indications. Here is your wattage right there. It does go in 1 watt increments unless you are below, I think it's 20 or 10. Hold on, let's go there. Yeah, below 10, it'll be 0.1 watt 0.1 watt increments, but above 10, it does go in 1 watt increments. This does go from 5 watts all the way up to 200 watts. If you hold it, it does scroll a little bit faster, and it'll get you to the 200 watts. And there you go. Now it does have a sub menu in this where you can actually change that auto setting. It's actually got a total of 4 settings. So to change into the menu setting, you're going to click your fire button 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And now it's showing highlighted auto. If you use your toggle switch, you can actually go to the next setting, which is bypass. The next one is variable voltage. And then the next one is V mode. Now in bypass mode, this basically makes it an unregulated device. So I would only recommend this for intermediate users or people that know about Ohm's law and battery resistance or battery safety and things like that, because it's really, really important to know it, especially in bypass mode. The next setting is going to be your variable voltage. Again, I really think that you need to be really knowledgeable about battery safety as well as Ohm's law in order to use either bypass or variable voltage. In variable voltage mode though, it does go up to a total of 7.2 volts. The next setting is going to be your V mode. V mode is basically going to be just a regular wattage mode, sort of like a boost setting, I guess you can say. But it's like a variable mode. It's a boost mode. There's really no information about it, but it is supposed to give you sort of a boost. It does dim out very, very quick. So it does go to sleep very fast. There is no way to set that feature or to change that feature to make it either brighter or not brighter, or if you can change the amount of seconds until it times out. It times out pretty quick. It'll dim out. Now in this setting here, again, you can go all the way up to 200 watts. If you want to. And of course, this is all dependent on the resistance that you have on your mod. Now I'm going to go ahead and put an RDA on here so that we can go ahead and take a look at the different settings once it actually has an RDA on it or an atomizer on it. So right away, it's going to ask me if it's a new load or an old load, up or down. I'm going to click up because it is a new load. It's going to automatically give me my resistance right here. Again, I'm in V mode right there. And once you hit the fire button, it'll give you the amount of joules, or I guess the wattage, ramp up wattage. So it's going to give you a boost of 20 joules in the V mode. In the other mode, in the regular auto mode, this one here is going to show you your voltage. So it's a little bit different. In this mode here, or any of the modes, it does fire really, really quickly as long as you're not in sleep mode. So if I press the fire button, it fires automatically. It doesn't even hesitate. This does take a resistance as low as 0.05 to 3 ohms as well. So I did want to let you know about that. Now it does lock. You can actually either lock your keys, or you can either lock your adjustments so that you can't make any adjustments, or you can lock your fire button, but I haven't found that you can lock both. In the manual, it does say that you can actually lock both the fire button and the adjuster, but it's not true. It's not happening that way. So to lock the toggle switch or this adjuster, you're going to press up and then fire, and it's going to show you a little lock right there. To undo it, you're going to press up and then fire again, and it will unlock. To lock the keypad or the fire button from firing, you're going to press down on the toggle switch, and then you're going to hit the fire button, and it'll show a lock right there. In this sense, you won't be able to fire the mod, but you can still adjust it. This is what I was saying. In the manual, it says that that's supposed to fully lock your device, but it doesn't. It only locks the fire button so you can't accidentally fire it. For me, that's kind of not necessary, because for that, you can just turn off the device. So to turn off that lock feature, just press down and then fire, and it takes it right off again. So that's pretty much it. It's really, really user-friendly. It does look very, very sleek. It looks made very well. I actually love the construction on it. I think that it works well. The toggle switch works immediately. There's absolutely no problem with the toggle switch at all. I really like that. And the screen is pretty bright, but it does dim down very, very quickly. And then your sleep mode does go quickly. So yeah, so that's it for the VTEC 1.8 by Augvape. Let's go ahead and take it on top and take a look, take a vape, and pros and cons. So here we are back on top with the VTEC 1.8 version the VTEC version 1.8 200 watt device by Augvape. Before anything, I'm going to go ahead and have a vape, and then we're going to talk more about it. Absolutely love this Axial RDA, just in case you don't know that. I love, love, love this RDA. I also have a review for it. I'll put the link down below for you. Yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about the mod. First of all, it fires instantly. As soon as you press the fire button, it fires instantly. I absolutely love that. It does have a resistance setting from 0.05 to a 3 ohm. So whatever variation that you want to use, you can use this, which I think is good in a way. Not for the newer users. I think that, you know, the 0.1, which is usually the lowest resistance for a mod of like this, is fine. But sometimes when you're doing builds and things like that, your mod doesn't fire below a 0.1, and sometimes while you're dry firing your coils and trying to heat them up and get them to ramp up evenly, it does fall just a little bit below the 0.1. So I do like the fact that it does go down to a 0.05. I would never go down to a 0.05 personally, but it does have that option. It does go up to 200 watts. Again, I do not vape to 200 watts, but a lot of people really like it, so that's got to be a pro. Definitely a pro. This toggle wheel I think is just amazing. I really, really like the toggle wheel. And then you've got a really big screen. It's not as bright as I would like it, but it is a big screen. It's got a lot of information on it. And the menu system is super, super easy. So that's also a definite pro for me. It does take two 18650 batteries, which are not included, but a dual 18650 battery is definitely one that I would use because of the fact that I use anything from dual 18650s to LiPo mods and things like that, or LiPo battery mods and things like that, because of the fact that it's going to last me all day. A single battery mod doesn't necessarily do that, and especially being that this does go up to 200 watts, being that it does go up to higher wattage and it does take lower resistance, you definitely need the dual 18650s to give you a lot more battery life. So I love that. As I mentioned down below, I never did get the first version that they had out, which was the V200, I think it was called. So I can't really do the comparison of what has changed. I did try to look it up to see what it looked like compared to this one. And basically to me, it looks almost identical. There's just a couple minor changes, like the back right here and the 510, it looked a little bit different. It looked more like, I guess, a tire rim or something. That's the look that it gave for me, because this is supposed to be a car engine inspired. That's what I came up with. To me, it doesn't look like an oil cap per se, but it does, but it doesn't. I just like the toggle on it. I really feel like it works really well. It does exactly what it needs to do, and I love that about it. The battery door, I have to say, is one of the ones that is the most sturdy in my opinion, and I like that. I like that it's hard to close and lock into place, because that way you're not accidentally bumping it and it's not opening, and I have not had that problem with this at all. It works absolutely beautifully. The construction of this device and the feel of this device is definitely a pro for me. It's made really, really substantial. It is made of zinc alloy, but it feels good in the hand. It's almost kind of squared. It's not fully squared, but it's almost squared. So it does feel very, very comfortable in your hand. And I don't have any problem with the weight, because it's basically a dual 18650 mod. They all kind of have like a weight to them once you put the batteries in. But it does feel substantial. It feels like it's not cheap feeling at all, which I really, really like about this mod. The look of it, I think it looks really, really nice. I do like the look of it, even though like I don't do anything with engines. To me, it looks fine. I don't know. I like the way that it works, and I like the way that it feels. So that's it. Another pro is once it's not in sleep mode, it fires really, really quick. Now, why I say not in sleep mode is because once it does go into sleep mode and your screen blacks out, when you first press your fire button, it takes a minute for it to actually wake up. You'll have to fire it again if you want a quick fire. Otherwise, you can just hold it and it will fire, but it takes longer to fire once it's coming out of sleep mode. So I do want to let you know about that. Once it's not in sleep mode though, it fires instantly, which is great. Now, a couple cons, which I have already partially mentioned. The one is going to be the screen dimness, especially being that it times out like pretty fast. To me, in my opinion, it times out a little bit too fast. There is no setting for you to change that to make it stay awake a little bit longer. So that to me would be a con. The other con I would have is the fact that they give you an option to lock the key, to lock the adjustment, or to lock the fire button, but the manual says that it locks the full device when you lock the fire button. That's not the case with this. Now, personally, it's not a con that it doesn't do it. It's a con that it says it in the manual and it doesn't do it. Personally, if I'm going to lock the full device, I'm going to turn it off because I want to save battery. I mean, that's just, it makes sense, right? It just makes sense. I do love the fact that they do offer you an option to lock the adjustment though, because I do tend to touch it a lot on the toggle switch. So being able to lock the key so that that doesn't do anything to it, I think is great. Having to lock the fire button, for that, I just turn it off. So there's really not too many cons to this device. It's very, very well made. Augvape does make very, very well made products. So I haven't really had too many cons. The only other last con for me, and it is a true con because I really don't like it, is the fact that it does have that raised 510. The reason why I don't like it is because I do tend to like bigger addies, bigger than 24, 25, or 26 millimeters. So if I want to put a bigger addy on here, you're going to have space under it. For instance, like one of my favorite addies is my Elite V2. And I've had it for a few years now. It does fit on it, and it's flush to the sides. Like it fits a 28.5 millimeter just fine. The only problem is that you are gonna have that space right there. Because it's a raised 510, it gives you that space. If it didn't have that raised 510, it would be flush and it would be perfect. I would absolutely love this. That's to me the biggest con of it all, other than the screen and things like that. That's it, because it looks absolutely amazing with the 28.5. It looks like it's made for something big and substantial for this, and I think that it would have made it absolutely perfect without that raised 510, but that's just my opinion. So other than that, I think that it's great. Again, I can't really do too much comparison regarding the first one because I never did have the first one. If it was anything like this, I think that it's great. I don't know what all adjustments they made other than the couple that I mentioned, but I think that it just fires well. It keeps your reading for the coil that you had on there. So I do like that. That is another pro for me. Like I had it on 91 watts. I changed it out. I put it back and it's still at 91 watts. So I do like that it remembers that. Other than that, it comes in 3 colors. It comes in red, blue, and black. So it's pretty basic. I think the original one, if I'm not mistaken, I saw white. So I only found it in 3 colors, but that's about it. One little con for me. Nitpicky. You adjust it this way. I'm right-handed. You adjust it this way, and then I go for the fire button, and a lot of times I miss the fire button because that toggle switch is there. So I'm constantly like, I'm reaching more for the middle than I am the top, and you really have to hit the top for it to fire. Hitting the middle, nothing's gonna happen. You definitely have to hit that top. I don't know. That to me, it's not that it's a con. It's kind of a nuisance sometimes when I'm like, trying to I want to, vape. And I got to remember to put my thumb exactly right on there. If you don't put your thumb right on there, that's going to happen. So other than that, though, I mean, that's nitpicky. That's really, that's just me.
That's literally just me.
But yeah, so that's pretty much it for my review. If you like the review, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Leave any comments down below, any questions or anything like that. Let me know what you think of a device like this, and what is your opinion on a raised 510? Do you like it or do you not? I would love to know down below, and I will see you in the next one.